The Office of Disaster Management is once again spending the month of July filling young minds with the survival skills they may need if the situation arises. Donaldson Frederick, Program Officer at ODM, explained that the ultimate goal is to change the culture in communities about disasters.
One of the things that we've found out is that there have been a number of incidents where during the summer, what you find is the young people, they normally go out, whether to the beach, whether to the river, and there are times when incidents occur. And it's important that they know some of the basic emergency procedures to follow in assisting their colleagues, their friends, or even family members. From the disaster aspect of it, we know that there's been a lack of, let's say, education in terms of awareness. And one of the objectives is to engage the young people at a very early stage in disaster management and risk reduction initiatives.
It is hoped that initiatives such as this one will help students grow with that awareness level and become more prepared for emergencies, including hurricanes, landslides, and even disasters related to health.
Some of the components of the program include fire safety, introduction to comprehensive disaster management. We're also looking at search and rescue, a little bit of that. We're looking at the medical aspect of it. We're also looking at the maps and compass. And we have a number of stakeholders working with us. So, for example, we have to commend the fire and ambulance services. We had a brilliant officer yesterday, that's Fireman Erwin Mitchell, who did an exceptional job in teaching the children some of the basic first aid techniques that they can apply in the event that there were to be an emergency. We also looked at the health aspect, and interestingly this year we brought about the HIV and HIV response unit. Ms. Samuel, who did a very good job, and the students basically asked that she return, because what we're trying to do is to incorporate our stakeholders and not only looking at hazards that affect the country, whether by geological or hydromet events. We're also looking at the health aspect. And if our population is affected, for example.
Another component that has been reintroduced this year is a stay-over weekend survival experience.
Which is called a weekend survival camp, where we leave Friday afternoon, we goes out into the country area, and this year we're going to Marigot community. For that weekend, we'll be teaching the students a number of survival skills, which will include going back to the old days. For example, one of the things that we'll be doing is using a technique to develop a stretcher. It's a makeshift stretcher. So the students will be given a scenario. They will go out into the bushes. They will use the resources that they have available to them, for example, wood and so on. And they will be able now to develop or form a stretcher using ropes, using shirts, some of their shirts that they're going to have. They're going to be using that. And they're going to be developing a stretcher. They're going to be placing a patient on the stretcher or a team member on the stretcher and carry the patient or the team member back to base. And that is very interesting. That is something that we want to develop, because it's not every time they will have the resources available to them. And so we want to teach them those skills so that when they end up in those situations, they'll be able to use those skills to help somebody or their individual. So this is a very important element over the weekend. We will also be doing some hikes.
Let's hear what a few of the participants have to say about the camp, including Eba Ravare, who recently received the Queen's Young Leaders Award, who is one of the supervisors.
Here we're training the young kids, the children, how to manage disasters, how to orient themselves in time of an emergency, the do's, the don'ts. And it's a very important thing, because we know recently we had the situation with Erica, and the more people we know, we have who knows how to handle themselves in such situations, and not just themselves, but others, their peers, help out their parents, their schoolmates. It's better.
There's many things, like in case there is a fire, how to put out small fires with fire extinguishers, and in case someone is in the water and they are drowning, they taught us how to go into the water and how to bring the person back on shore and breathe into the mouth so that they could get back to life. And this camp is very exciting, so I would like to encourage young kids like me to come, so that in the future, in case there are any problem happening, so that they could assist the patient or save somebody. Yeah.
It's one that is like no other. Honestly, it is very informative. It is very different from your usual classic summer camp. This summer camp really teaches young people how to be ready during a disaster, how to get ready for a disaster, what you should do during a disaster, and how to help after a disaster.
The program ends on July 28th.